Tony D and Little Joan, and this is your Screenwriter's Rant on Death Letter Blues, mystery thriller about a priest who has nightmares portenting strange murders in a southern town. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. The links are in the description. Comedy horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys. Books 1 through 17, available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. I think this takes place in the past. People got cigarettes, not seeing cell phones, people still writing letters. Not sure what year. I would guess 80s, maybe. Guess in the 80s at the latest. Maybe a little earlier. I don't think it's the modern day. But apparently this priest is having nightmares, but he can see the murders for some reason. August 8th in selective theaters and on digital. And it's got some bluesy music, which I do like. I like the look of it. The priest has this cool convertible, apparently. But I'm not exactly sure what he does. I think he sends anonymous letters to the parents to tell them what he saw in his dreams and who committed the murders. And then the parents get revenge, I think. Something like that. I'm not exactly sure who the victim is. It might be this kid, but there's also another kid. He has a different shirt on. There's another kid who they keep showing in the trailer. It might be him. So you have a black kid and a white kid in the trailer. And then you have a mixed race couple. So I guess they could be the sons, both their sons. I'm not sure. It's a little confusing. But it does rely on the trope of the racist South. And look, not saying it's a complete fabrication or anything, but it really depends upon the year how you can sell this. I think that's an important aspect to make it realistic. But not sure why the priest can see this stuff or why he's just sending letters. Doesn't seem like something a priest would do. I guess these good old boys killed this dude. I'm not sure. But the movie cliche of the racist old Southerner is a bit tiresome. I wish Hollywood would get a little more nuanced with that. Because I've been to the South. And yeah, I'm sure there's ignorant people, but there's also very cosmopolitan people down South. It's not the early 60s down there. It's the modern day. So, most of the stuff that happened back in those days, a lot of it, I think, was about the fact that it was isolated. And sort of that ignorance would fester because there was no one to challenge people. Now you have the internet. Like, you can't do what you did before. You get called out on the internet. And even if you're all the way down south in some no-name town, it impacts you. So the society has changed with regard to that. I'm not saying there's no racist people. There are. But they operate in a different manner now because it's impractical to do it any other way. Back in those days, there would be these isolated areas where nobody had contact with a lot of these people, generally speaking, for years. So they could have any crazy racist attitude you wanted, but you wouldn't even hear about it. And then suddenly they would, I don't know, end up on the news or something would happen. And then it would be like, oh my God, these people. But those days are, they're pretty gone. I'm sure you could find another pocket somewhere here and there, but it's not like it was. So when you present this stuff, I think the year's important, but those cigarettes indicate earlier year. I'm not seeing cell phones. So the cars seem a little old, but I can't really see a lot of the cars in it other than the Priest Cool convertible. But see, that's a vintage car. That could be the modern day. He just has a cool car. Yeah, I don't know. But that all being said, I like the blues music, and I generally like it. I mean, could be interesting. His dreams. I mean, I wouldn't go to the theaters for it, but maybe I'd stream it if I was up for a thriller and I thought it was good. Looks a little slow paced, but the blues music might take you through. If you're like a blues guy, like I am. So, and I like the title, Dead Letter Blues. Yeah, I think that works. First act, I guess there's a murder, and then the parents are stymied because the cops don't seem to be getting anywhere, but they're contacted by the priest who saw the murder in a nightmare, and then I think they try to get revenge because there's a shot of the mother getting out a rifle with a scope. Now, does she fire the gun? Because that would seem more unrealistic if she's the one firing the gun. So, if this does take place in the past, you can't mix like modern sensibilities with past sensibilities. That's kind of a no bueno. It just takes you out of it, I think. So I'm a little bit on the fence of this. Maybe I'd watch it if it popped up on streaming. Not huge on thriller mysteries that don't involve vampires and robots, but maybe. When a mysterious death rattles a small town, a troubled priest discovers haunting parallels between the tragedy and his reoccurring nightmares. The ending? Depends on what they wanted with this movie. Now, maybe they're setting it up as a franchise, and then, like, the priest helps solve the murder and get the family justice, but then he moves to the next town, and you're going to see it again in the next movie. Or it may be, a lot of times, when you have a priest character, like in the, spoilers, Exorcist, the priest sort of sacrifices himself to save the people. I'm not really seeing that. I'm sort of leaning close to the other. I think he loses his eye, though. Because in one scene, he's not wearing an eye patch, and then in another scene, he is. Here is the funeral. Yeah, here he is. I don't think he's wearing the eye patch there. He's taking off his collar. Maybe he quits being a priest. Maybe that's the ending. But yeah, I kind of dig the aesthetic of it a little bit. Yeah, maybe. And that's it for me, Tony D. And Little Joan. She's hacking. What are you doing? Somewhere behind me. Thanks for tuning in. Tonight, I'll be in Hamilton at Snouts and Stouts Brewery. That's right where the old vinyl brewery used to be. So new owners, new name, new deal. Bring your dog. And at 7 p.m., I'll be doing my talk on how to hunt the Jersey Devil. Hope to see you there. We'll see you in the next one.